My guest today is the executive director of the organization Integrity Restored, which helps people who are struggling with pornography addiction or loved ones who have a pornography addiction to be brought back into this sense of healing, of peace, and of joy, and to not be pulled down by your addiction or the addiction of someone else. Jim O'Day has also had an incredible career working in various fields, which he'll share more about today when we dive into the career topic, but is also a father of a handful of children. I've asked him to join us today to discuss advice for new parents as we are waiting for our baby to arrive. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Hey, Timmery. Great to be with you as always. And I just want to start by saying, if your water breaks, we are finishing the segment. Okay?
You got it. Okay, great piece of parenting advice. I've thrown this up on social media for people to share on Instagram and Twitter, their advice for new parents, because there are lots of us who would like to hear. But Jim, being a girl here, and having a girl, I do have to tell you my favorite piece of advice I've gotten so far. One person wrote to me today, and she said, change her clothes as often as you like because they grow out of them fast. And, I've got all these headbands. I've got all these cute outfits. I really do appreciate this because I want to make sure I get her in everything.
Take advantage of it. That is great advice. Great advice because it does go so fast. The other thing I'm going to say to you is, you will be overwhelmed with advice. Everybody wants to give you advice about having a baby. Don't be overwhelmed. Take what's good out of it, take what works for your family, and use it.
Amen. I love that. I think that's good to hear because I think it's so easy for people, especially maybe who might be a little more self-critical or feel pressure from others, to become easily overwhelmed because they're not doing X or they're not doing it the way a parent did it or someone else they admire told them to do it.
I agree. And I'll tell you the first thing. I mean, my daughter's 32. My son is 21. You're going to get it wrong. That's okay. You're not supposed to be perfect as a mom or dad. I remember when Kim and I came home with the baby, with Jessica, we both sat on the couch and we looked at each other and we said, these people are crazy. How did they send us home with this little baby? We don't know what to do. We were petrified, but you know what? It worked out. It's beautiful.
I have a friend who was just sharing with me. She said, I didn't want to go home. I was terrified to leave the hospital. I said, I'll stay as long as possible. And I've been sharing them because we've chosen to go with midwives and go to a birth center right next to the hospital. And we get to come home sooner. And they'll come and do the in-house checks on baby as long as everything's good right after the birth. And people go, oh no, I was scared to go home. Just stay there. You're listening to Trending with Timmery. I think we just lost Jim there for a second.
I'm back.
Oh, good. We've got you back. Okay, so what advice do you have for new parents, both moms and dads? But I guess one of the things that's standing out to me, Jim, is especially for dads, I hear so often from men how they feel so inadequate when it comes to all the responsibilities placed on them in their fatherhood, from providing and protecting to so many other elements.
Yeah, I'm going to give you first a really practical tip for the couple. Invest in an air mattress and take turns switching on and off each night who sleeps with the baby. So many new parents bring the baby into the bedroom. They're both up all night then, on and off, on and off. We, with Jimmy, with my second son, with my second child, we invested in an air mattress, and I would have one night and Kim would have one night. And it was such a different experience. I looked forward to those nights when I was going to be with him because the night before I had a full night's sleep. So that's just a really practical tip that makes it a lot of fun.
All the moms listening right now are like, Dad, win. Dad, win. I think a lot of moms are appreciating it right now. That's why you want to have a good man by your side in moments like this.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was a really beautiful experience for me. And it gave my wife one night off and me one night off. I mean, when you get good sleep, you could be a much better parent. It's just a practical thing to do. Speaking to the dads, you are going to feel completely ill-equipped. You just are. Know that. Especially dads having a little girl. It's this, my daughter, when she was born, I was just in awe of this thing we created, and I had to protect her. And I mean, the day I brought her home from the hospital, in my mind right away, I'm thinking about her first boyfriend, and I'm going to kill him. No, everything's going to be fine.
Is that when you took up jujitsu?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right. Just love your child's mom, especially your daughter's mom. Show her what it looks like for a man to really love a woman and honor and cherish and care for that woman. She'll be fine. You don't need to worry about anything else. A spiritual tip for new parents that I have, that I didn't do with my first child, and I wish I did, was continue to make time every day for yourself to pray, to spend time with Jesus. So often we get wrapped up. Yeah, we get so wrapped up in the new baby that we forget that, right? And it's more important then than ever.
And I just think, Jim, it's so easy to all of a sudden be like, oh no, something I was working on in terms of prayer, went out the door, and you get distracted. I can imagine even more so when you have a child, how much more difficult that becomes. Either that stop-start when you try, or just forgetting completely because you're taking care of another person that's totally dependent on you.
Absolutely. And it's all new, right? It's all new. I mean, I have friends of mine who have been blessed with 10 or 11 kids. And, they said by the 10th one, they really had it down pat. But before that, it's always a struggle. So you have to make sure you find that time. And even if it's just 10 minutes a day, where you say to your spouse, you know what, honey, you've got the baby for the next 10 minutes. I'm going in the closet, and I'm closing the door, and I'm just going to sit with Jesus. That's fine.
As long as you just don't come out, honey. That's all. We just need to make sure no coming out of the closet, especially after baby's born, okay?
Oh, my goodness. I am so glad we're not on video right now because I just spewed water out of my nose. Thanks, Timmery.
Welcome to Catholic Radio.
Wow. One of the other things I wanted to really stress to new parents is I started this too late. And I wish I started it when both my kids were born. But every year on New Year's Eve, I write my children a letter. And I don't give them the letter. They're actually all stuck in my sock drawer under all my socks. Because one day I'm not going to be there with them. But they're going to have all these letters. And each year I write about something that happened in the previous year. And what a great opportunity when you have that new baby home to just tell that baby how wonderful, how amazing, how astounded you were about this miracle that was brought into your life. And then at age 1, age 2, age 3, it's I think, a great thing to have when at some point, our children are going to be without us.
I love that perspective that writing letters can bring, and all the more so, I feel like you share things that are more intimate, more come from the heart in such a unique way. And what a gift for your children to receive, I'm guessing, after your passing when the time comes. But for them to continue to cherish those memories and your words for years to come.
Yeah, I think it's a really... like I said, I wish I've been doing it for about 10 years now, but I wish I started when they were born, because those moments you don't get back. And like you talked about in the beginning of the program, put every headband on her and take a picture and put every dress on her and take a picture, because they grow up so fast. I mean, my kids are both adults now. And I look at them and you miss those days. And there will be a lot of days as a new parent that you say, I don't know how I'm going to make it through. I don't know if I can make it through.
Yeah. Do your kids know about these letters that you write for them?
My wife knows.
Your wife knows. Cat's out of the bag. Someone might tell on you. They're going to be asking for those letters for Christmas. You better be careful.
Timmery's show is always getting a scoop from me. All the time.
I love it. Okay, last tip before we have to run to this topic of career, and I think it really does relate.
It does. And I think the last tip is a really important one, too. It is going to look like every other parent has it all figured out. They've got it all together. They don't. That's just what they're putting on social media. They are as scared as you, as confused as you, as overwhelmed. Go with the flow. It's okay. You've got this amazing little baby now as part of your family. What a blessing.
Amen. And that is a piece of advice we all need in the world of social media. Carry on. Live your life. Stop comparing.
Carry on.
And hold yourself to the level of accountability you need. Know your weaknesses. Know your strengths. Know your child's needs.